Electrolytes and Nonelectrolytes by Corey Blumenthal and Sam Semmel.
Our first topic is electrolytes. They are able to produce ions, they are able to be decomposed by electrolysis, and electrolytes are also a big conductor of electricity.
Some examples of electrolytes include acids, potassium, hydrochloric acid, salt, calcium, and of course Gatorade. Our next topic is non-electrolytes. These are not ions. They do not conduct electricity. They are polar covalent and they do not dissociate. This means that they stay as the original molecule when mixed with another substance.
Some examples are sugar, glucose, and sucrose. And chemically pure water is another example. And ethanol is the last example. These are all examples of non-electrolytes. They don't produce any electricity, but they're non-electrolytes.
Great. So the big question now is, how do these two substances dissolve in water? So electrolytes split into ions, and oxygen in the water will pull apart these molecules, resulting in ions. And on the other hand, non-electrolytes will dissolve, but no ions will be created, and they will remain as their original molecule.
There are two types of electrolytes, strong versus weak. Strong electrolytes dissolve almost completely when mixed with a substance. Weak electrolytes will only partially dissolve when mixed with the substance.
Strong electrolytes create a more intense electric current than weak ones do. Our next topic is solvation. Solvation is something that goes along with electrolytes and non-electrolytes. Molecules from a solvent and a solute associate and attract to each other. This is what forms the electrolytes we often see in substances. A substance that is considered to be an electrolyte is made up of molecules that have dissociated or have been broken apart to form ions when mixed with a solvent. This often happens when a solute like salt is added to water. The salt molecule will be broken up and become surrounded by the solvent, which in this case would be water. This process forms a new structure called an ion, which is a charged particle that will result in the creation of an electrolyte. A non-electrolyte is a substance that when mixed with water will not create a new ion. Instead, the molecule of the solute will remain the same and will not be affected by the molecule of the solvent. The resulting solution will not conduct electricity and will not contain ions. Therefore, will not be considered an electrolyte. Solvation occurs when two different molecules, one from a solute and the other from a solvent, react in a way that creates a new compound within a solution. This further explains the process that occurs when a molecule becomes an ion. In the process of solvation, molecules from the solvent attract and associate with the molecules of the solute. This process creates ions, which then makes a substance an electrolyte. We will be using two types of water to explain how electrolytes work. In the first test, we will be using tap water. This water is not chemically pure water and has impurities in it. For the second test, we will be using distilled water. This water is chemically pure and contains no impurities. Our final test will include salt and will be added to the distilled water. So this is tap water, and because it is impure, it is an electrolyte. So when we go like this, it lights up the light.
This is pure water without any impurities, and therefore it is not an electrolyte and will not conduct any electricity. And there you go, no electricity.
By adding salt to the distilled pure water, we make it an electrolyte because the salt will then conduct electricity. So with the salt in the distilled water now becomes a solution with electrolyte, and you can see how bright that is because the salt is such a good conductor of electricity.